Ben from Ben and Jerry stood in front of Congress and RFK Jr. and said what so many people are too afraid to say. He looked power in the face and said, "You are killing poor kids in Gaza, and you are paying for it by cutting Medicaid for kids here. This is not a performance, this is a moment of truth. And it should shake every person watching to the core because it exposes the brutal reality of a system that has forgotten compassion and replaced it with profit and war." Right now in Gaza, children are being pulled from the rubble schools, our flattened hospitals are overwhelmed, and families are mourning generations lost in a single night. And while all of this is happening, Congress is signing blank checks for bombs. Billions of dollars are being sent to fund destruction, while here in the United States, kids go to bed hungry, without health care, without clean water, without safety. And instead of investing in life, this system keeps choosing death. Ben from Ben and Jerry's didn't have to speak out, but he did because silence helps the oppressor, not the oppressed. And in a world where corporations and celebrities are often silent or performative, he chose to be bold, he chose to be real, and he called out the cruel logic of a government that claims to care about freedom and democracy while turning a blind eye to genocide and injustice. They say there is no money for the poor, but there is always money for missiles. They say we cannot afford to raise wages or fund education, but we can afford drones, tanks, and warships. They cut Medicaid for children here and send weapons to kill children there. And if we do not speak, if we do not act, then we are complicit in the same violence. This is about more than Gaza. This is about values. This is about how we define justice, how we define humanity, and whether we are willing to stand up when it matters the most. Ben said the quiet part out loud. And it is time the rest of us do too. Tap in and witness what courage looks like. Because when the dust settles, history will ask who spoke and who stayed silent, who stood and who hid, who defended the children and who defended the funding, who chose peace and who chose power. And when that question comes, we must be able to say, we did not look away, we did not back down, we did not let our voices be buried by fear or convenience. We rose and we spoke and we fought for every innocent life, whether in Gaza or Chicago or Flint or Rafah, or right here in the neighborhoods they pretend not to see. This is our moment, and we cannot waste it. Tap in now and stand for something that matters.
Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
Ben, why are you getting arrested?
Move down the hallway. You will be arrested.
Poor kids in Gaza by buying bombs and pays for it by kicking kids off Medicaid in the U.S.
Ben, what are you calling for the Congress and senators to do for Gaza?
They need to let food into Gaza. They need to let food into starving kids. Congress is paying to bomb poor kids in Gaza and paying for it by kicking poor kids off Medicaid in the U.S.